I'm Albert Withridge.
And I'm Wesley Robinson.
And we're here today for a video series. Last time we met was scattered at best, would you say?
Yes.
And that's exactly how it'll be. So we're fit in form and fashion with that whole situation. Today what we'd like to do is kind of visit about what are we going to call this. And I had just spent some time meditating, and seems like in leadership situations, whether it's as a person, as a leader in a family or in a business, one of the common phrases that consistently comes up when you tell somebody something or offer advice is, well, you're the boss.
Right.
And I got to thinking about that whole idea, and it's true.
Right.
And you are the boss, and I am the boss. And whether you're thinking it from the concept of you being a boss leader or you being the boss of who you are,
Right.
it's true.
Right.
So, you know, just to think about that whole concept of who is the boss in your life, and if you're the boss sticks, you'll see that on our podcasts, upcoming videos, and upcoming possibilities of webcasts.
Right.
As we promote this whole thing. You know, I at the front end, I don't want to dominate the conversation, Wesley. I just want to, you know, in your mind, you know, what are you thinking right now? Because sharing is huge.
Sure.
And so what's going on with you today and in your mind this morning?
Well, just with the boss concept, I just think that there are so many different perspectives of what a boss is and what does that actually mean, and what it means to yourself, and then what it's portrayed to your colleagues.
And there are all definitions and dimensions for that.
Right.
As we take this morning, I gather information from you.
Right.
And I hear it a certain way, and you the same. If there were a third party here,
Right.
they would hear it a different way.
Certainly.
So our phenomenology of what we are definitely does define what people are hearing, and your perspective of boss and my perspective of boss. Give me your definition of boss right now, as far as where Wesley's at today, this moment.
I personally see boss as the person who gives directive, who has understanding, who has character, and is in the best interest of whoever they're directing versus themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Who's willing to give other people the credit instead of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's...
You know, I had read some things over leader, boss, and what you just described was exactly their definition of a leader. And I think that sometimes leader, boss gets confusing,
Right.
especially the people that you work with. You talked about direction, you talked about giving credit, you know, and those are all great attributes of a really good boss leader. And I think that to make that differentiation is huge at the onset. Maybe even with the people that you're in charge of.
Right.
They're not going to get it like that. I don't know. Did you ever have a boss you hated? I mean, I'm asking
Certainly.
a question. What
Certainly.
were those characteristics?
The ones that I hated were selfish, self-centered, wanted all the credit and all the glory, and really didn't accept you as even a part of the team.
Mm-hmm. You just defined me as an employee. You know, I was all of those things, and that's an interesting point of discussion. Some people could call it a conflict between where you're at as a leader,
Right.
whether it's a boss leader, owner, franchise owner,
Right.
husband, father. You are starting to shoulder that whole idea, and you're trying to be that person who is sharing.
Right.
And I'll guarantee you, I'm gonna ask you today, while you're making decisions, do you feel that immediately everybody embraces those and go, oh, that was a great idea?
Never.
What do you get? What do you get?
Hesitance, resistance,
Mhm.
unknowns.
All of those things. And I'm trying to set myself back a number of years, whether it be in 8th grade,
Right.
when a teacher's trying to tell me what to do,
Right.
or teach me what to do instead of tell me what to do, as on my first job, you know, and as what that first director, boss, person in charge of me was trying to teach me. They were trying to teach me to do something that enabled, at that time, the company or the business to accomplish something that day.
Right.
And why I always had a different idea is beyond me. I do not have a clue.
Right.
Maybe you can give some insight into some of who you are and what your thinking was as that time went on.
You know, I think it's during different times of your life, you have different perspectives of that. And whenever I was younger, I think I was more selfish, and I thought I knew everything, and that their opinions didn't count. As I've grown through this, I've actually realized that they did know what they were talking about, that they did have good directions, and if I would just sit back and listen and do what I was asked, the end results always far outweighed what mine would.
Boy, yeah, they kept you out of some bar ditches.
Definitely.
Some stuck places, and I'm right with you. And I don't think, one of the things that is probably huge, and you're a leader, you're a boss, you're an owner, you're a franchise owner. I think one of the things huge is to understand that you go through pieces of life that have allowed you to do that, and they weren't all pleasant.
Correct.
And you took the risk.
Right.
The people that you're in charge of, and the people that you pay, and the people that you lead, we're not all starting in the same spots.
Right.
And I think we've come upon a place here of understanding. This is the first time in history that there have been 4 coming on 5 generations
Right.
in a workplace.
Certainly.
That is a huge thought and a huge concept that we'll get into
Right.
in future podcasts and future filmings. But that is so different and changes the game.
Certainly.
And I think we spoke of it and visited about this before. I'm excited about getting to that next spot. This video and this filming today gets us to that next piece.
Right.
And any final thoughts as we move to conclusion today?
I think boss and complexity is right there hand in hand.
Yeah, I think you're right, Leslie. I think we're going to learn some things that maybe are going to be hard. You know, we're going to learn some things that are hard, as well as things for other people that are in different positions and different generations. I'm going to learn something, and it's going to change me. Until next time, I'm Albert Wethridge.
Wesley Robinson.
And Who's the Boss? You have a great day.